this meeting to order of the York County School Board, regular meeting for December 17th, 2018. I hope everybody's having a great week and getting ready for the upcoming holiday season. I know it's been a really busy time in my household, so I'm sure it is for everybody else too. So we're going to have our pledge leader step forward, and it's Nate Livingston, the 5th grade student from Yorktown Elementary School. And I'm going to share some information about Nate while he's standing up here before we do the pledge. So Yorktown Elementary is pleased to recognize 5th grade student Nate Livingston as the pledge leader for December. Nate was new to York Elementary School in September of 2018, and he quickly became a leader and was selected by his teacher to be the new student ambassador for his class. Nate was selected to be a member of the Yorktown Elementary's first LEGO League team, Falcon Soar, and his team received the award for exemplary representation of the core values of the program at a recent competition. His coach shared that he was very committed to the program, and Nate was not just focused on his own code, but often helped others on both teams. He was a leader in every way. I wish we could keep him another year on the team. And in his free time, Nate enjoys playing baseball and flying remote control helicopters. His most recent flight resulted in his helicopter getting stuck on the roof, but he loves superheroes and says that Batman is his favorite because he wasn't born into being a superhero. Instead, Batman worked hard to achieve the title and learned how to utilize his gadgets and fight for justice. When he grows up, Nate hopes to be an engineer that builds cars, and in his spare time, he would like to create video games. When asked what he would like for people to know about him, Nate shared that since his mother is in the military, he has lived in 5 different places, including Germany, South Dakota, Texas, and Florida. Math is his favorite subject, and he shared that he really enjoys participating in the STEM program, Project Lead the Way, at Yorktown, and he is also looking forward to when the first LEGO team starts again here in February. So Nate shared that his favorite activity is cooking with his mother, especially when they make and decorate his birthday cake together each year. He is a member of Cub Scouts and enjoyed camping with his pack this fall. Cooking toast and eggs for breakfast around the campfire was a highlight of his trip. Nate's mother shared that he has a big heart and is good at making others feel welcome. In Florida, he was elected mayor of the Lego City at his child care center on base. In his role, he got to meet the mayor of the town and the governor's wife when they toured the Lego City. He has always been a leader. Miss Dean, Nate's teacher, shared that he is a model student and has been a wonderful addition to the York Elementary School community. So everybody please stand while we have Nate lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Good job, Nate.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Nate. That was a wonderful write-up. So now we're going to move into our awards and recognitions. And as a reminder, during our break, after all the awards and our Accent on Academics, parents will have a time, we'll have a time to meet the students and the parents, and you'll have a time to also take pictures during that time too as well. So we're going to start with our seniors of the month, and we're going to go with Bruton High School and Ms. Haywood.
Thank you very much. And let me first say I apologize for my voice. My 3-year-old grandson had to have tonsils and adenoids removed, so for about 2 weeks, I was grandma nurse. And I'm blessed that he loves me because I was hugged and kissed and sneezed on and coughed in the face and breathed on, so I'm better. So bear with me as we get through this tonight. Please join me in recognizing Wei Lee, the Bruton Senior of the Month for December. If Wei will come forward and, well, stand with your parents where you are. I'm sorry. Stand right there. Everybody with you, stand up. Everybody, whole family, stand up. Fantastic. And I'm going to share some information with you about Wei. Bruton High School is proud to honor Wei Lee as our December Senior of the Month. Wei is a compassionate, dedicated, and competitive student who serves as a role model to her peers. Wei is consistently challenging herself academically. Although Wei is fluent in Chinese and English, she also studies French and Japanese. During her high school career, she has taken 12 AP courses and has earned her highest honors award each year. Way is passionate about band as she is about academics and has participated in the band program, both marching and concert bands, for 7 years. During the past 2 years, Way has served as a drum major. Way was selected to participate in the VCU Woodwind Ensembles, CNU Honor Band, and All District Band. She's a talented musician that plays the flute, piccolo, and the dazi. Diza is a Chinese transverse flute. Way is a member of the Math Honor Society, Chemistry Honor Society, and National Honor Society. She humbly reflects on her high school accomplishments and feels blessed to have had these opportunities. She knows that her success has not been without sacrifice. She moved to America when she was 10 years old and worked to learn English proficiently by studying during her free time. This journey has made her an inspiration to her peers. Way is interested in attending the University of Virginia, Virginia Tech, or Carnegie Mellon University to major in mathematics. Please join me in recognizing Way Lee as the December Bruton High School Senior of the Month.
Thank you, Ms. Haywood. So I have the next Senior of the Month, and it's from Grafton High School, and it's Alex Roper, and he is here with Leon and Simone Roper. If you could stand up where you're at. There you go. Do you have anybody else? That's okay. Very good. Perfect. So it's with great pleasure that that Grafton High School recognizes Alex Roper as December Senior of the Month. Alex is an involved and dedicated student at Grafton High School. For all 4 years in his high school career, he has participated in both indoor and outdoor track. He has dedicated himself to his academics by taking advanced courses all 4 years at Grafton and earning a spot in the National Honor Society. Alex is a leader in the building and served as the SCA class president his junior year, where he spearheaded ideas that shaped Grafton and helped to create more school spirit. He is also a member of the Special Olympics Club, where he works to bring inclusiveness to all students at Grafton. Alex is involved in his community and serves as a deacon at the Newport News Seventh-day Adventist Church. Not only does Alex serve in a leadership capacity as church, but he is also a member of the choir and enjoys singing. Alex also regularly volunteers at a nursing home in Newport News. Alex looks forward to attending college at either Duke, UVA, or Southern California, or JMU, where he'd like to pursue a career in marketing, economics, or computer science. He has merged his love for business and computer science by creating an app. At this point, the information is still super secret and under development, so we'll look forward to seeing what Alex has for us. So Alex enjoys watching the news, hanging out with friends, and running. Alex feels the two best things about Grafton are the students and his teachers that have helped him become a better person, pushed him to think outside the box, and to have a growth mindset when learning new things. Alex also feels his teachers are supportive, caring, loving, and would encourage all students to make relationships with their teachers. Alex is a true role model for our students at Grafton, and we look forward to great things in his future, and we are pleased to name Alex Roper as Grafton's Senior of the Month. Congratulations. Excellent. So next we have Tabb High School and Dr. George.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Richardson. This evening, we'd like to recognize our Senior of the Month from Tabb High School, Cassandra Allenbach. Did I say that correctly, I hope? Great. And you're with your mom, Kyle, and Tressa, your mom and dad? That's wonderful. Thank you for coming. Cassandra Allenbach is an outstanding student and a stellar athlete at Tabb High. She has maintained a GPA of 4.42 while participating in 4 varsity sports. Cassandra attends the Governor's School for Science and Technology, where she is completing the computational science and engineering strand. She's a member of several honor societies, along with the Beta Club and Tabb High School Crushing Cancer Relay for Life team. Athletically, Cassandra is an accomplished distance runner who has participated in varsity cross country, indoor track, and outdoor track. She has also been a member of the varsity swim team. Cassandra has been a regional champion in distance events and cross country, and recently culminated her senior year cross-country season by winning the Division III individual state championship. Outside of school, Cassandra is a diligent volunteer and an active member of the Growing Runners Track Club. She even somehow finds time for a job at Point Two Running Company. Cassandra is a dedicated and unbelievably hard worker. She is an excellent ambassador for Tabb High School, and we are very, very proud to present Cassandra as our December Senior of the Month. Congratulations.
So next up, we have York High School and Mr. Medford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jacob Rice, if you'll stand with your family, great. Jacob Rice is a dynamic young man and someone we are honored to have at York High School. Those who know him well describe Jacob as hardworking, dedicated, and thoughtful. He attends the Governor's School for Science and Technology, where he studies computational science, which is a field of interest to him. In addition to attending the Governor's School, he is also fulfilling the requirements for the York County Honors Program. As a result of his academic success, he is a member of the National Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta, the French National Honor Society, and the Science National Honor Society. As a junior, Jacob was awarded the William and Mary Leadership Award due to his rigorous course load and commitment to being involved. Jacob is a competitive swimmer for the Coast Guard Blue Dolphins, where he has been awarded the Carl Wagner Competitive Spirit Award, as well as the Swimmer of the Year Award due to his strong work ethic and performance in the pool. He is also on the national team, where he serves as a mentor for younger swimmers and volunteers at club functions. Jacob, congratulations on being selected as the December Senior of the Month for York High School. We're very proud to have you in the Falcon family. Congratulations.
I'll let Dr. Shandor go down front, and once he gets down there, we'll start with the next part, which is going to be our Student Service Awards. And Mr. Anderson, you'll have the first one from Yorktown Elementary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Would Cameron Hunter and Miss Denny come up, please? When YES staff members were asked to identify a student who exemplifies selfless service to others, numerous people recommended Cameron Hunter for the honor. Her classroom teachers shared that Cameron is a student who puts everyone's well-being above her own. She goes out of her way on a daily basis to help a visually impaired student in our class complete tasks to ensure he doesn't fall behind. She is the one who is willing to help any person with any task, regardless of who it is or what is being asked. Cameron is more than deserving of this award. A resource teacher reported that Cameron is helpful with students needing assistance to stay on task, and she always helps clean up. Cameron shared that she comes from a family of 4 children, and they are all involved in athletics. She said her family works hard to support each other and cheer each other on at their various games and meets. Cameron participates in the Yorktown FC travel soccer team and plays basketball, and she thinks that she may want to be a teacher, which we need. So,
Get a contract.
Sign her. Yeah. Cameron was selected to represent her class as the Citizen of the Month for being trustworthy. The nomination stated that Cameron is a student whom every child and adult can turn to when something is needed. She always puts others before herself when she's asked to do something, and it is done with 1,000% effort. Her mother shared that her favorite thing to do is help other kids. When her family asked about her first day of school, all she talked about was that she was so excited because her teacher had asked her to help another student in the class with a visual impairment. She asked the student if fire drills made him nervous, and when he said yes, she told the student, "I'll make sure you can hold on to me every time." When she was younger, she played basketball with several children who had Down syndrome. Her mother shared that Cameron spent half of her games getting rebounds to make sure the other little girl could score. When asked what makes her feel proud, Cameron was unsure how to answer the question. She was reminded that the teachers appreciate that she helps turn on and off the computers in the 2 labs each morning and afternoon, and the PE teacher appreciates it when she helps with younger students. She simply said, "Those things are fun." Service is not a project or a program for Cameron. It is the core of everything that she does and who she is as a person. So join me in congratulating Cameron Hunter as YES Service Award.
Great write-up. So next we have York High School Student Service Award, Mr. Medford.
We do. We can ask Emmy McCreary to come up with Dr. Butler, the principal. York High School is pleased to announce Emmy as our Student Service Award recipient. Emmy is a powerful force, but not in a loud manner. She possesses a very quiet inner strength that makes her a positive role model for her peers. She is a calm and stable presence her friends have come to depend on. Many of them describe Emmy as motherly because of her selfless nature. She is always willing to lend a listening ear or a helping hand. For the past 2 years, Emmy has spent her Saturdays volunteering as a teacher's assistant at the Newport News Japanese School. She enjoys helping the younger children learn, but her primary focus has been assisting children with learning challenges. Emmy's kind heart and patient nature are valuable qualities in this unique learning environment. Because of her dedication and commitment, the children thrive and enjoy her learning experiences. Serving as a volunteer at the Newport News Japanese School has also given Emmy the opportunity to stay current on Japanese writings, literature, and math systems. Emmy has volunteered with the York County Public Library as a student volunteer and participates in the summer reading program, Read to the Rhythm. She volunteers at the St. Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church, where she assists as a server. Emmy, we are proud to have you as part of the Falcon family. Continue to make a difference in your community. Congratulations.
Okay, next we're going to recognize our community volunteers of the month, and our first one is from Yorktown Elementary School, and Dr. George, you have that one.
Hold on here, you caught me off guard here, Mr. York High School?
York High School, or Yorktown Elementary, I'm sorry.
Actually, that's not, that is Mr.
It's taking a second to load up.
Yeah, this thing has got to be work at 8, I'm sorry.
There you go.
That'll have technology.
Here, I've got it. Okay. Volunteer of the month from Yorktown Elementary, Cami Miralia. Did I say that correctly, first of all? Pretty good, huh? Come on down. And Ms. Kelly Denny. Yorktown Elementary is pleased to recognize Ms. Cami Moralia as the December Volunteer of the Month. Ms. Moralia has volunteered in numerous roles at Yorktown Elementary since her current fourth grader began kindergarten 4 years ago. She has assisted with sales at market days to raise funds for Fort Eustis families at the holidays, field days, picture days, and book fairs. At the recent Enchanted Forest Book Fair, Ms. Moralia was quick to show her support by wearing a daily themed costume from butterfly wings to a unicorn horn. Her most significant contributions to Yorktown Elementary have been through the material prep program, where she leads 4 other volunteers during Wednesday morning work sessions. The team works countless hours preparing materials for classroom instructional projects and often takes work home in order to keep up with the high demands. Projects vary from cutting and laminating word study materials to preparing STEM materials for classroom activities. She is our resident laminating expert and will often come into the school multiple times during the week to ensure that teachers have everything they need to be successful. Outside of school, Ms. Moralia participates in her church bell choir, and is commander for the Awana program at Lebanon Christian Church, which also requires a large investment of her time and dedication. Last year, Ms. Moralia began another role at York Elementary and is now a highly requested substitute. However, she declines jobs on Wednesday mornings to ensure that the needs of teachers are fulfilled through material prep. Even on days when she is subbing, she can be observed during her lunch and classroom breaks working on laminating or cutting materials on the die cut. She prioritizes the valuable work that she and the other volunteers do to support our students and our staff. Teachers share the following thoughts about Ms. Moralia on nominations for this honor. She's always present, prepared, and flexible. She is always willing to tackle projects with a smile. She's dedicated to the material prep program and takes things home. She always asks questions to make sure our needs are met. She is always willing to step in and help everyone in this building. Ms. Moralia is always willing to go above and beyond, and she always does it with a positive attitude. Ms. Moralia is an invaluable member of the Yorktown Elementary School community. Ms. Moralia, we are very proud of you. Thank you so much for your time, and congratulations.
Congratulations. And our next Community Volunteer of the Month is from York High School, and it's Laura Thomason and Shannon Butler?
No.
Jamie Carlisle, I'm sorry. I should have recognized that the first time. So York High School, and am I saying it right, Thomason? Thompson, okay, got it. York High School is proud to recognize Laura Thompson as Volunteer of the Year. Laura has been a steady presence at York High School for the past 7 years in multiple roles. This recognition is special because we are not just recognizing her work this year, but her abundance of work over the last 7 years. From the first day her son entered York High School, Laura has been a vital contributor to the Athletic Booster Club, the PTSA, and multiple athletic teams. As a board member for the Athletic Booster Club, she has dedicated countless hours planning and preparing so that all the athletic events run smoothly and our student athletes are recognized appropriately. Laura has worked concessions or the spirit wear table or virtually every home athletic event. She has organized and facilitated countless senior recognition nights and athletic send-offs. Laura has volunteered for the PTSA and has supported countless PTSA events held at York High School. As her son and daughter have excelled on the field and in the classroom, Laura has been our go-to for so many vital things. It is not an over-exaggeration when we say we do not know what we will do without Laura next year. Her commitment to York High School and its students and community is truly invaluable. Congratulations, Laura. Wow, we had some great seniors of the month, student service awards, community volunteers. This is wonderful, so very good. So now we have the York Foundation for Public Education presentation. Ms. Haywood.
Yes, I do. Congratulations to Nathaniel, our fifth grader who did the Pledge of Allegiance, if he would come forward. I'd also like to recognize tonight's Student Service Award recipients, Cameron Hunter, Yorktown Elementary, and is it Emmy McCrary from York High School. Also, our seniors of the month, Wade from Bruton, Alex from Grafton, Cassandra from Tab, and Jacob from York High. All come up, please. Special gifts from Cookie Tex and Edible Tweet are being presented tonight on behalf of the York Foundation for Education in partnership with Jeannie Fioca of Cookie Tex and Edible Tweet. A Walmart gift card is also being presented on behalf of the foundation supporter. And presenting the gifts tonight is Mr. Dick Carter, a York Foundation for Public Education board member. Thank you, everyone.
Wonderful. So next, we have the ASBO Budget and Comprehensive Annual Financial Report Awards and GFOA Comprehensive Annual Financial Report Award. And I'm going to have the presentation of these three awards of Mr. Bill Bowen, if he could come forward. He's the Chief Financial Officer for the school division. If I could also have Ms. Cassandra Dillard, Payroll Supervisor, Ms. Karen Wood, Budget and Financial Supervisor, and Ms. Margaret Kirk, Accounting Supervisor. So the first award, the FY 2019 Budget Award, York County School Division's fiscal year 2019 budget was awarded the Meritorious Budget Award from the Association of School Business Officials International. This is the 21st consecutive year that the school division has earned this award. The award represents the highest form of recognition in governmental and school district budgeting. To receive the budget award, the budget must meet nationally recognized guidelines for effective budget presentation, be technically well-prepared, and be easy to understand. The budget award program is designed to encourage exemplary budgeting practices. Congratulations. So the next two, we still got the other, did you give them all of them? Because I'll read the rest of them. It's the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report Awards, the Kafir. The York County School Division's fiscal year 2017 Kafir was awarded to the Certified of Excellence of Financial Reporting Award from the Association of School Business Officials International and the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting Award from the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada. So to meet these standards for the Kafir Awards, the Kafir must sufficiently organize and satisfy generally accepted accounting principles and acceptable legal requirements. The Kafir Awards are the highest form of recognition awarded in the field of government financial reporting. This is the 20th consecutive year that the school division has earned the Kafir Award. Congratulations.
No, we have one more. No, just,
Yes, yeah. Mark beat me to it. I was going to do the same thing. All right, so next we have the Virginia Distinguished Purple Star School Awards. So as I'm reading this, I'd like to have our Dr. James Lane, our state superintendent, and Mr. Dan Durham, military student and family specialist from the Virginia Department of Education, if they could come forward, because this is a very big honor, I think, that we're being bestowed upon tonight. We're honored to recognize the efforts of several York County schools for receiving the Purple Star Award from the Virginia Department of Education and the Virginia Council on Interstate Compact on Educational Opportunity for Military Children. The Purple Star Award recognizes students, educators, and administrators for their work to create a supportive learning environment and to remove barriers to the academic success for children of military families. This award is being presented to 59 schools in Virginia, and we are excited that 4 of our York County schools have qualified for the award. With us this evening to present the awards again is Dr. James Lane, and I appreciate you taking the time to come here, Dr. Lane. I know you have a busy schedule, and you're in Chesterfield. Is that where you drove down from? So I know your schedule was able to be rearranged, and you were here tonight, so thank you. And also Mr. Dan Dunham, military student and family specialist from Virginia Department of Education. So the first award goes to Coventry Elementary School. Paul Assassin's a principal, Melissa Horton, assistant principal, Christina Wallace, counselor, Joni Luttrell, second grade teacher, and Kelly Watkins, educational technology facilitator, if they would come forward. Thank you very much. So the next school we have is Grafton Bethel Elementary, and Lisa Rufio and Kristen Balatas, the guidance counselor, if they would come forward. Perfect. And our next award goes to Tab Middle School. Principal Heather Young and Dana Rollins is the counselor there that's coming forward. Excellent. And our last school to be awarded tonight, the award is Yorktown Middle School. Susan Hunton, principal, and Rachel McBride, assessment and compliance coordinator, if you come forward. So, Dr. Lane, I know your schedule got changed around, so we didn't have you really on the agenda here, but if you'd like to say a few words, please, at the podium, we would certainly appreciate that.
Thank you so much, and I do appreciate you having us here. Excited to be in York County with you today. York is actually the school division of the state that has the highest percentage of military-connected children in the state. And so it's one of my roles, besides being state superintendent, I'm actually chair of the Interstate Council. And so it's a huge honor for us to be here to recognize your schools. Thank you for everything that you're doing to make the transitions that our military children face as easy as possible here in York, and excited to celebrate with you. Dan really leads this work, so I am going to ask him to say a few words and tell you a little bit more about the Purple Star designation and our program.
So it's great that we have the Purple Star designation because we get to come out to places like this and we get to recognize the hard work that the students and the staff are doing in supporting military-connected children. Most of you probably know that military-connected children transition a lot. And so when I brought up to the council this idea of recognizing schools with a distinction for supporting at a high level the unique needs of military-connected children, they were all over it. We're the second state to do it. Ohio started it about 3 years ago. Right out of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which is located in Dayton, Ohio. The military families that were transitioning into Ohio had wanted an opportunity to know which schools really looked after their children. And so they asked for some sort of designation, and then the Ohio Department of Education came up with this Purple Star. And so we're just borrowing that idea and bringing it to the state of Virginia, and we're really happy we did. I hope that it explodes in the next year, but I'm really happy that 4 schools in York County, as he indicated, the highest percentage of military-connected students compared to your total population in the state are here in York County. And after hearing what I've heard today, it's not surprising that you have some very service-oriented individuals in your school division, to include the students. We're very proud to present the awards tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Donovan. Dr. Lane, appreciate it. And thank you again for coming out. So last, for our presentations, before we take our short recesses, our accent on academics. And at Yorktown Elementary School, we present Reading is Marvelous program. So Dr. Shandor, I'd like to share the information on tonight's.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson.
Excellent.
Good evening, board members. The Reading is Marvelous program was created to help promote a school-wide love of reading at Yorktown Elementary. Marvel superhero characters were placed around the school and library to help encourage students to read. Each character was accompanied by a speech bubble that told students what they were reading and why they chose that book. Ms. Kelly Denny, Yorktown Elementary principal, will now introduce tonight's presenters. Ms. Denny.
All right. Well, good evening, Chairman Richardson, Dr. Shandor, and members of the board. I'm Kelly Denny, principal of Yorktown Elementary, and it is my pleasure to introduce the members of our team who will highlight the Reading is Marvelous program, which inspired our students to meet and exceed a school-wide reading goal during the 2017-2018 school year. And it continues to build a culture of reading in our building. So I'd love for those participants to come up and join me. Joining me to present is the creator and heart of our program, our library media specialist, Miss April Inslee. You will also hear from 3 students tonight, Ms. Isabel Atlee, a 3rd grader, and 4th graders Joshua Lemuel and Tyrance Ward. At this time, Ms. Inslee will provide an overview of the program.
The Reading is Marvelous program was designed to be a reading excitement program, one that encourages and excites our students to read, explore new titles, and recommend books to others. There were 3 main goals of the program: increase the number of books read at YES, create a culture of reading throughout our school, and finally, to join together as a school community to reach a common goal. The students of YES were challenged to work as classes and individuals to read books to reach our goal. Students in grades 3 through 5 were given an individual goal, and classes in K through 2 were challenged to read books as a class. Individual students were encouraged to rate and recommend books by completing blue review forms. When students turned the forms into the library, they were counted towards our goal and then delivered to the student, staff member, or class they were recommending a book to. At the beginning of the year, we focused on quantity in an attempt to jumpstart the enthusiasm. As we progressed towards our goal, the focus of the blue form shifted to be about the quality of the student reviews and their recommendations. In the library, we learned about reading strategies to help us connect to the books we read through our heads and our hearts, and we discussed the difference between the stars or shields on the blue forms. As a result, students started to take great care when writing their reviews and recommendations.
Hi, my name is Isabel. When I am reading, I am thinking about how much I like the book. Sometimes the book reminds me of a friend or one of my teachers, so I recommend the book to them. Filling out the blue review form is easy, but sometimes it takes a lot longer because I'm really thinking about who I want to recommend the book to and why. When I am giving the book stars, I think really hard about how many stars I think the book should get. A 1-star book is a book that I didn't really like. A 3-star book was okay, but a 5-star book is one that I really liked. When I get book recommendations from my friends, I get really excited. It makes me excited to read that new book. One of my friends recommended the Amulet series to me, and now I really like it and can't wait to read them all.
Hi, my name is Tyrus, and I'm in 4th grade. Last year, when I was in 3rd grade, I read 40 books to help us reach our goal. After I read my books, I recommended them to my friends. Some of my friends read the same books I did, and we would talk about them. There were times in lunch or indoor recess when my classmates, and I would talk about books. Having the superheroes in the hallway helped encourage us to read and find new books. Sometimes my teacher or my friend would point out what books the characters were reading with, and we would talk about it. My sister, who was in 5th grade last year, would send me book recommendations. Before reading *It's Marvelous*, I never really read the book she told me about, but last year I read a lot of her recommendations, and it turned out they were pretty good books.
Hi, my name is Joshua. I'm in 4th grade. When we started reading *Is Marvelous*, our goal was to read 12,500 books by May 1st, 2018. At first, I wasn't sure that we were going to reach our goal. The banner in the hallway outside of the library made our goal look like it was going to be hard to reach. But once we started coloring in the letters, I started to believe we could do it. And we did. We actually met our goal of 12,500 books in February of 2018. Dr. Shandor came and made a special announcement. We had balloons to celebrate. We decided to keep going since we had so much time left in the school year. By the end of the year, we read 20,500 books as a school. It felt great to work together to reach our goal. I knew that everyone was working hard to read books so that we could reach our goal. In my class, my friends and I will try hard to read books when we were done with our work or test. When I walked past other classrooms, I noticed a lot of students reading books or reading online. Using the superheroes to encourage us to read and work together was great, because the Avengers had to work together too. So we're like the Avengers of reading.
So this program created more than a culture of reading for our school. It created a collaborative partnership between students, staff, and families to reach a common goal. We'd like to share thoughts from a few additional students and several teachers about the impact of the program.
When they walk walk into the library, they see superheroes everywhere, which is so motivating to some of our students who feel like reading can be very intimidating and they feel like reading isn't for them. To walk into the library and see characters that are familiar to them, characters that are motivating, especially to our boys who we know can be generally a little harder to motivate to read.
For the love of reading, we have teachers that talk about books, we have kids that talk about books with teachers, we have kids that talk about books with other kids, we have siblings that talk about books.
Last year I read 60 books. I read 15 books every quarter.
And in fact, I had a student who decided she wanted to be a big supporter of our program, and she challenged herself to read 1,000 books by herself last year, and she ended up making it by the end of the year and was just so proud of her contribution.
Our goal for this year was 50,000 books to reach to. I think we are going to make it because a lot of people like to read in this school.
As Miss Inslee colored in the letters, oftentimes we were just happening to walk by and they would cheer and they couldn't wait to see how close we were to the next goal.
It pushes kids to go to their next goal and the biggest goal that they can get. And I think it's just super awesome. And now we're going to try and reach 50,000 books. My favorite genre is funny books, and I like reading graphic novels.
They've read novels, they're reading nonfiction books, they're reading graphic novels, they're interested in so many different genres that they wouldn't be interested in if we didn't have the incentive to be coloring in and meeting our goal.
Recommended a book to my friend, which was called Smile, and I think you guys should read it too.
We actually had a lot of siblings of students in my classroom that recommended books to read to us, so the kids loved getting those blue slips of paper for new books for us to add to our class.
I recommend books to my friends like Malachi and Zion like that because every time I have a Dave Pilkley book from the book fair and a Jeff Candy book from the library, and they ask to read it every day.
I can't speak highly enough about the Reading is Marvelous program. I think it's something that's great to be implemented countywide in all the schools if we can. It just created such a positive environment in our school for a love of reading, and it really brought all the grades and teachers together.
Reading is Marvelous became a great way for YES to share our story with the community and the world. Social media played a key role in that. Through the hashtag Reading is Marvelous, we were able to reach out to authors, illustrators, actors from Marvel movies and shows, and other public figures. Being able to share with the students how they were Twitter famous by getting a like or retweet for their accomplishments quickly became a favorite for us and for me. We were also able to reach out to Marvel Universe Live, a touring company that presents a show featuring many of the Marvel characters. They donated 20 free tickets to one of their shows in Norfolk, and we were able to randomly select students to attend with a parent. It was a wonderful way for us to celebrate our achievement towards our goal. In the end, we exceeded our goal by 8,000 books. It was a tremendous feeling to see what we could accomplish together with great success. Because the program was such a success, we decided to keep it going for one more year. We've extended our goal to 50,000 books, picking up where we left off at 20,500. And since we've decided to add the DC superheroes to our theme, we've changed the title to Reading is Our Superpower. As of right now, we have made it to almost 30,000 books. In addition to the hope that this program starts our students on a journey of being lifelong readers, we are also hoping to turn this into a pay-it-forward situation. We are currently seeking a company or companies that would be willing to sponsor our program to help us donate money and/or books to an organization such as firstbook.org or a school that may have lost their books from storm damage in honor of our students at YES and our Reading is Marvelous and Reading is Our Superpower success. Having access to books is a wonderful thing, and since we've been blessed with such a fantastic library at our school, it would be marvelous to be able to help other kids and schools in need. Thank you for the opportunity to share our story with you tonight.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Ms. Denny, and the students and everyone that presented tonight. What a marvelous program. It's a great program, though. But to see the kids' excitement and make it fun, that's what it's all about. They're learning, they're reading what they want to learn or want to read. Great program, so keep up the great work.
And one more comment, I would say the superheroes here are the students and staff and the
Yes.
work that y'all have done.
Absolutely.
You've created I'm not even sure what the word would be, but just to see this evolve into something that the students, you set a point and they went way beyond and they want to continue to move that forward and then play it forward basically. Just marvelous. I mean, just these are the kind of things I really enjoy about a school board meeting is I don't get into the buildings as much as I used to, but to have the information brought to us like this, the superheroes, it's y'all making this work.
Fantastic
Great job.
program. Yes.
Yep.
Yep, great program, thank you. Okay, the board's going to take a short recess for the board to meet tonight's award recipients, so we're in a recess. Thank you.
Hey, Sandy?
Okay, I'm going to reconvene this meeting, call it back to order, and we're going to start with, do we have any unfinished business?
We do not.
Hearing none. We're going to go into presentation. So capital projects report, Dr. Shandor, if you'd like to share.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. I'm going to ask Mr. Shearhart to come forward, Associate Director of Capital Plans and Projects. He is going to present this month's construction report. Mr. Shearhart?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and Dr. Shandor, here's your capital projects report for the month of December. Can't believe it's already the end of the year. Tab Elementary School renovations, the contractor started, as you know, last summer and worked throughout the summer. And then during Thanksgiving break, they also continue to do work. They are working in the evenings and on the weekends at Tab Elementary with small portions of the project. During the Thanksgiving break, they replaced the carpet throughout the admin suite, and they also replaced the doors at the front portion of the building, interior doors, new interior wooden doors there. They are in the process of finishing up testing and balancing. They did find out they need to replace some dampers or install some dampers and some duct work, and we anticipate that happening during the winter break. They are planning to start some Phase 2 work during the winter break, and that involves painting the gymnasium and some floor repairs in the main part of the building. They're also planning to continue the roof replacement starting at spring break and then working throughout the rest of the year. And because the size of the roof, there's not enough time in the summer to replace the entire roof during the summer months, so they need to start early. And our plan is to work over the cafeteria and the kitchen areas so they don't affect the instructional areas. They will also commence the rest of the Phase 2 work during summer of 2019. Here's a list of the Phase 2 work. I've talked about these before, but I just wanted to bring them up again. The casework in the classrooms will be replacing that. LED lighting, continue to put that in the building, and also they're going to be, after they repaint the gymnasium, they're going to replace the gym floor this summer. Another school that we're going to be working on is Tab Middle School, and this is a roof replacement there. We're taking off the shingle roof there and going to go ahead and put a metal roof on it. We're in the contract document phase of this project. We've received some of the contract documents. We're waiting on some insurance documentation before we can completely award the contract. That construction date there will be determined once we have received all the construction documents. We do anticipate this one to start early here as well, and then work through the rest of the school year and into the summer. Again, because of the size of the roof, there's just not enough time to get it completed during the summer. Again, we plan to start over the kitchen area and some of the locker rooms and things like that. I'll show you a map in just a second. So we do, the substantial completion of this project is anticipated to be August 30th with the final completion of September 30th. So again, removing the shingles and then installing the new metal roof. Also, there was some damaged drywall in the media center due to roof leaks. We're going to be replacing that during this as part of this project. So here's a rendering from a computer of what the new school roof would look like. It's going to be very similar to what the old roof or what the current roof looks like. We tried to match or get close to the existing shingle color to keep the character of the building. So here's the highlighted area that we plan to start first on the school during the school year. This area is over, again, like I said, the girls' locker room, the kitchen. It's over the shop area. It's also over the band and the choir area, or the chorus area. So another big project that's going on is the Grafton High School, Middle School, HVAC and office reorientation here. We're going to rotate the offices so they face the main entrance and the new security vestibules. We have selected we've looked at numerous LED light fixtures, and we selected the fixture that we want to go with on this project. We are in the process of reviewing the construction documents which we received from the architect last week, and we plan to put this project out for bids in January, hopefully early January rather than late. Summer 2019 will be taking care of the high school area of the building and the middle school, the high school and the center of the building, with the exception of the high school band room. And in the summer 2020, we'll finish up the building by doing the middle school and the high school band room. So here's a drawing of the building. So you can see in pink there is the summer of 2019, and in the light blue is summer of 2020. So we will be doing the main offices at both schools this summer. That's one thing I wanted to say. Another security vestibule we're going to be installing this summer is at Coventry Elementary School. So Paula Sasson will be missing this one, but she says they're putting a security vestibule on the school she's going to now. So she'll still get the same flavor. So we have completed a review of the final drawings and returned this to our architect today. This vestibule does include an expansion of the lobby at the school, and that's to allow people flow through the security vestibule. And also, we were needed to redesign the main office for circulation of people through the building. This is part of a package deal here. We're doing the Coventry security vestibule, the Mount Vernon security vestibule, and the Dare Elementary enclosed breezeway, and the gym floors at Dare and the gym floor at Mount Vernon all together as one large package. So they're all, I'll talk about them, they all go out in January. Construction will take place in December of 2019. Mount Vernon Elementary School, same thing with the security vestibule. We had to enlarge the lobby there to allow for proper people flow through the security vestibule. We've also reviewed those drawings and turned them back into the architect as well, so he can make his final changes. Again, for this project here, we expect it to go out for bids the first week in January. The next project is Yorktown Elementary School, and this is the parking lot expansion. This design is currently under review by the county personnel for stormwater and just for meeting building codes. And it will involve moving the modular classrooms. We do expect this to go out for bids either in the first week of January or shortly before the end of this year. Again, this construction is also scheduled for summer 2019. So we do have a lot of other capital projects in process here, and I did mention a few of these, but I'll go through them again. Coventry Elementary School, we're in the process of designing that metal roof replacement, which we expect to take place this summer. Here you can see the Dare Elementary breezeway enclosure, the Dare Elementary School gym floor replacement, the Mount Vernon Elementary breezeway enclosure, and the Mount Vernon gym floor replacement. So we expect those to go together for the Coventry, Dare, and Mount Vernon all to go together as one package. The last project on this list, the York High School door replacement, is underway right now. The contractor has been replacing door hardware on the doors that will remain in the building, and he is in the process. They will select the color of the new wood doors, interior wood doors for the high school tomorrow. They have some color chips for door samples for the doors, so they can make their selection and place the order. We anticipate those doors to arrive the end of February or beginning of March, and we expect this project to be completed in April. The contractor will be working after hours and on the weekends to replace doors throughout the building, doors and locks and closers and hinges and things like that throughout the building. And that is my last slide. Do you have any questions for me?
All right. I have one question. I'll back up your mind a little bit. Tab Middle School, years ago when we did that renovation where we literally shut down half of the school and renovated it and then came back and renovated it, the other half of the school. And the reason why I asked that is because I see a lot of roof work all the time. What is the average life of a roof? I mean, when did we not replace the roof when we did that renovation at Tab Middle? However many years it was ago, maybe the life of the roof is already at that point. What do we normally get for a roof?
It depends on the shingles that they put on the roof, whether they're longer life shingles or not. The thing that's interesting is we have the same roof at Queens Lake, and we're not having the problems with the leaks at Queens Lake that we have at Tab Middle School. So it appears that the shingles have failed prematurely at Tab Middle School, and it's not 100% sure whether it's the installation of the shingles or whether the shingles failed. And just that particular roof has had extra issues, and so that's why we're replacing it, and we're not having to replace Queens Lake.
So like warranty stuff, I'm sure the warranty's already expired on that roof, but what does a normal warranty look like when we do like this roof job that's getting ready to be done now? Is it a 20-year, 10-year, prorated?
The contractors like to tell us very long times for their metal roofs, and we anticipate having at least 20 years out of a metal roof. We'd like to say it could last 30 years. The one at Tab Elementary, the lower roof that's there now, which is an aluminum roof, which is in really rough shape, but it's either 40 or 45 years old, but it's beat all to pieces, and that's why we're covering it this summer. But the metal roofs, we've had some issues with them. We had problems with them at Magruder. We're using different technologies now, and we think that the metal roofs will last longer than that shingle roof would have lasted.
Okay.
And that was one of the reasons we didn't go back with shingles, because we felt like the metal roof would be a longevity.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shearhart, for that report. We really appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Sharp.
So next, we're going to have public participation in board meetings, and we'll have two opportunities to speak this evening. The first for general topics, and the second for specifically related comments for the FY20 Superintendent Recommended Capital Improvement Program. So first up, Ms. Pouchot, if you come forward for general comments. And if you would just state your name and address, and the time will start after that. Thank you.
My name is Pam Pouchot. I reside at 103 Kimberly Court, Yorktown. Last week, Donald Trump said Americans do not want drugs entering our country on the southern border. That's a lie. Americans consume billions of dollars of illicit drugs, much that is manufactured outside the U.S. If there were no market, there would be no sales. After looking on the school board site for information about our DARE program, I was concerned that it appears we have pushed aside an aggressive anti-drug program for one which focuses on school safety from intruders, bullying, internet safety, and community safety. While all these issues are important, the first word in DARE is drugs. Recreational marijuana is now legal in many states, as is tobacco and alcohol consumption by those of age. Our children see their parents and other role models using these products. They see the hypocrisy of saying, don't use these substances now, but in a few years, go for it. Do we teach our children about teen brains still developing and how drug use can result in lower IQs and poorer cognitive skills? What we don't seem to teach them is the consequences of drug use. Do we teach them about their purchases of these drugs, how they support drug cartels that rape and prostitute children, turn little boys into armed soldiers, murder, corrupt law enforcement and government officials, and extort and terrorize their communities? This is the cause of massive immigration from Central and South America. Opioids from Asia support the Taliban, ISIS, and other groups' terrorist activities in the U.S., around the world, and support the killing of our military personnel in Afghanistan. Do we show them pictures of meth addicts with rotted teeth and body sores? Do we show them autopsy photos of those who OD'd? Do we teach them about teen boys and girls prostituting themselves to pay for their habits? Do we explain how they may turn to robbery and stealing? Do we take them to the regional jail and let them spend a few hours in a locked cell to see where their new home could be? Do we show them videos of the medical consequences of prolonged drug use or those who survived an overdose? Do we tell the girls that they are born with every egg they will ever produce and how abusing drugs could affect their future children? Do we teach girls the incidence of rape increases with alcohol and drug use? Illicit drug use, even recreational use, has consequences that go way beyond the user. Our children need a Scared Straight program to make them aware that 200 American drug users die every day, 73,000 each year, and millions suffer in a living hell. Your website states 32 to 44% of high school students who complete the drug course reduce their marijuana, tobacco, and alcohol use. You admit these students are already users, and the majority will continue to use at the same rate. You do not state the efficacy of your program concerning other substances. I urge this board to review our current programs to find a better solution for a problem that is only growing in America. Teaching our children leadership skills and coping skills is commendable, but it is just not enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pouchot. So next we have no one else signed up to speak in the general public hearing. So next we're going to move on to our public hearing on the FY. So we're going to close the first public hearing since we have no one else to speak and open up the public hearing on the FY20 Superintendent Recommended Capital Improvement Programs. So Dr. Shandor, do you have comments to share before we?
I do. I'm going to ask Mr. Bowen if he'll please come to the podium and share just a few brief remarks regarding the FY20 Capital Improvements Program. Mr. Bowen?
Thank you, Dr. Shandor. Mr. Richardson, members of the board, this evening is the public hearing on the superintendent's proposed capital improvements program for fiscal years 2020 through 2025. Just to provide a little bit of background information, the superintendent's proposed CIP was presented at the December work session, and the facilities master plan, which served as the basis of this document, was presented at the November work session. It is anticipated that the board will approve the CIP at the January business meeting on January 28th, just to provide that background and information.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen.
All right, we're going to open up the public hearing for the FY20 Superintendent Recommended Capital Improvement Programs, and I have no one signed up to speak for that. Would you like to speak on the capital improvements? Absolutely. You just state your name and address, and the time will start after.
I'm still Pam Pouchot, and I haven't moved. I live at 103 Kimberly Court, Yorktown, Virginia. I sound like a broken record for those who are old enough to understand what that means. You're building and spending a great deal of money on security, the moving of the offices, the access, the vestibules, and what have you. And in of itself, I don't have a problem with it, but what I have a problem with is you're not addressing the root cause. And we allow firearms on school property. Our high school students who drive to school are lawfully allowed to carry firearms in their vehicles as long as they're properly stored and unloaded. Yes, we can expel them. Why? Because I changed that law many years ago. But it is still lawful to have the easy access to a firearm in the heat of anger and mental distress. The House Select Committee on School Safety is addressing issues of mental health, school counselors, things of that nature, which is commendable too, but they're not addressing the firearms. The kids in America are being killed by firearms in the schools. Not everybody is mentally ill. They're all angry. But until you remove the weapon, you're still going to have a lot of problems. We are a nation right now that mass shootings are the norm. They're not unexceptional anymore. So I wish y'all would get up there in Richmond and lobby. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pouchot. And seeing that no one else has signed up for the public hearing on the FY20 Capital Improvements Program, I'm going to close that hearing. And we're going to move on to our next topic, which are matters by board members. And I'm going to start with what I've done for the last 30 days. Went to a CTE advisory meeting at the school board office, attended that. I also went to the school board office on the 1st and listened to some Christmas carols from our wonderful chorus from York High School, and that was certainly a treat. Also on the 3rd, I went to see the Christmas Carol at Bruton High School, and I love going to those plays and watching the students perform. It's always a great time. It's a great thing, great night out, so if you want to have a nice, easy, cheap night out, go to one of our school plays. It's a lot of fun. So we did have our joint work session with the Board of Supervisors on the 4th of December, and then I attended the WHRO meeting in Norfolk on the 5th. But I also had some exciting times, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention this, that I was able to perform my daughter's ceremony this weekend. She got married on Saturday, and they're off on their honeymoon, but during the ceremony, my son and daughter-in-law were at the hospital and having my first grandbaby that was born a little after 9 o'clock. So really exciting times at the Richardson household. So my head's still spinning from that. But happy holidays to everybody. Have a wonderful holiday season. I know I will. So Dr. George, you're up.
Yes, I don't really have a whole lot this evening. I'm informed that we have 110 days left for this year. I always like to update you on that out there in TV land. I think the 29th of January starts the third quarter, perhaps, so we're almost there. Just to touch base on the work session that we had, 2 weeks ago, I guess, a joint work session. For a number of years now, 2 specifically. I've come away from that meeting just really feeling good and feeling uplifted. It's just such a nice feeling, and it hasn't always been, trust me, but just a great feeling to come away from that meeting feeling like, us and our counterparts on the Board of Supervisors are working towards a common goal, and just can't tell you how nice that is. And I think that, there's plenty of commendation to go around. Dr. Shander certainly has spent an awful lot of time with Neil Morgan and worked very hard for that. So we appreciate that. But just so you know, we've got a great relationship, and we'll make sure we continue that. I'm going to just, You know, I'm just going to finish with a couple of quotes for the season here. Just a couple little things. I just like to throw them out there sometimes. Unless we make Christmas an occasion to share our blessings, all the snow in Alaska won't make it white. Bing Crosby. The 3 most terrifying words that the government allows to be printed on any product: some assembly required. We all remember that. There has to be at least one day of the year to remind us that we're here for something else besides ourselves. My idea of Christmas, whether an old-fashioned or modern, is very simple: loving others. And that's from that great philosopher, Bob Hope. Christmas waves a magic wand over this world, and behold, everything is softer and just a little more beautiful. The joy of brightening others' lives becomes for us the magic of the holidays. And last, what is Christmas? It is tenderness for the past, courage for the present, and hope for the future. So I hope you take some time, like all of us will, to reflect on the year, reflect on your friendships, your family, spend some time, be safe with what you do, and I wish you Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and that's all from me.
Thank you, Dr. George. And I think if people know who Bob Hope is, they'll know what a broken record is, so just want to let you know that. So we're going to move on to Ms. Haywood. You have your next up.
Thank you. And, you know, I have been missing in action for 2 weeks, so I really can't be a part of the work session or the joint, our work session or the joint work session. So with that, I'm going to say to everyone, have a wonderfully blessed Christmas holiday. Enjoy family and friends, and we'll see you in 2019. It's hard to think, 2019.
Yes, it is.
It really is. Thank you, Ms. Haywood. Mr. Anderson?
Yes, so I've had another busy month here. Since our last meeting, I was able to visit 5 schools. Visited Bethel Manor, Tab Middle School, Queens Lake Middle School, Yorktown Middle, and York River Academy. Last week, I attended a 2-part, 2-day webinar put on by the SBA Finance and Budget. And then I also participated in the joint session on the 4th. And I want to just comment on that for a minute, because last summer of 2017, when this board was considering appointing somebody to take Ms. Kershke's place, during the interview, one of the questions was, and it was asked by Dr. George, if you're appointed, what will you do to help improve relations between the school board and the Board of Supervisors? And I didn't really know how to answer that because, you know, I haven't been privy to any of the meetings, so I didn't really know that there was an issue, a potential issue. But after participating the last couple of years in both joint sessions and talking to some of the members on the Board of Supervisors, I just want to commend Dr. Shandor and his staff for the leadership and everything that they've done to help build that relationship, because we know that no matter what your plot in life is, your ability to be successful is dependent upon your relationships with other people. Yep. And so the success of this board is directly related to our relationship with the Board of Supervisors. So I just want to say thank you to Dr. Shandor and congratulations on everything that you and your staff have done to bridge that gap between here and the Board of Supervisors, because I can tell you that is rare. When I go to these seminars and talk to other school districts and they're having to deal with their Board of Supervisors and their city councils and stuff like that, we are in a really good position. So thank you, Dr. Shandor, for everything that you've done to help build that relationship. And happy holidays to everybody. Be safe, and we look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. And Mr. Medford?
I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we look forward to seeing everybody back in 2019. They get 2 full weeks off this year, am I correct? So it's going to be an exciting time for family and friends. So everybody have a great end of the year.
Great, thank you. So now we're going to move on to financial matters, and Ms. Haywood, you have that.
I do indeed. And bear with me, please. With respect to consideration of approval of claims certified for payment, significant payments for the month of November include Instructional-related expenditures totaling approximately $186,000 and included payments to New Horizons for $141,903 for tuition for special education services. Plan B Academy for $21,707 for tuition special education services. Supply room for $11,521 for furniture at Tab Elementary. And Scholastic Incorporated for $10,549 for instructional materials for middle school English. Payments for technology-related items totaled approximately $622,000 and include payments to CDW Government for $109,988 for software renewal, SCHC Communications for $52,032 for security camera software, ACES for $28,000 for energy meters at all schools, Everbank Commercial for $380,012 for Citrix license renewal, Amtech Company for $25,796 for 3D printers at York High, and Dell Marketing for $25,676 for instructional laptops. Payments related to administration totaled approximately $77,000 and included payment to CHKD for $62,000 for quarterly athletic training services, Virginia Corps for $13,616 for October's workers' compensation claims. Payments for operations-related items totaled approximately $54,000 and were made to RK Chevrolet for 2 replacement cargo vans. Payments related to construction and maintenance projects totaled approximately $432,000 and included payments for $238,318 to Virateco for HVAC replacement at Tab Elementary, $92,609 to Centennial Contractors for security vestibules at Dare and Seaford Elementary Schools, and $37,123 to Hudson and Associates for A&E work at York High and Grafton Complex. With respect to consideration of approval of financial reports for November 2018, significant changes relating to the operating budget. For revenues, no significant changes to local revenues. State revenues through November 2018 are $1.2 million higher than compared to November of 2017. This trend will continue throughout the year as a result of the state funding increase for FY 2019 and the increase in student enrollment. State sales tax revenue through November 2018 is about $123,480 less than in November of 2017. This is due to the timing in which the state transfers sales tax to the school division. Federal revenue through 2018, through November of 2018, is up by more than $6 million from November of 2017. This increase is due to several large payments for federal impact aid. Amounts will differ month to month due to the timing in which the payments are made by the federal government. Now for expenditures. Technology expenditures are about $700,000 higher in November of 2018 than in November of 2017. Many of the license and service agreements were renewed earlier in FY 19. Significant changes related to the food service budget for revenues and expenditures. Local revenues for food service through November of 2018 are about $55,000 less than in November of 2017. This is attributed to school closures for inclement weather during September and October. The federal revenue through November 2018 is $42,000 less than in November of 2017. And this is a result of the timing of federal reimbursements for this year. And thirdly, consideration of approval of Resolution 18-56, a resolution authorizing a specific procurement. And we have a resolution requiring the board's approval, authorizing procurements of more than $50,000. And there are 4 items on the resolution list. 4 items are related to capital outlay projects totaling $3.1 million. 1 item is for the rental of modular units at Yorktown and Magruder Elementary Schools totaling $66,528. And with that, I move approval of the financial matters listed.
Is there a second? Okay. Whenever you're ready, Ms. Ford, we're going to try our electronic voting again. We were having some technical difficulties earlier.
I believe it's working, but we can still go ahead and vote electronically.
Okay.
It's not up there.
Mine is not coming up,
Yeah.
but I
Mine
approve.
just came up.
Nope.
Okay, I have a motion by Mrs. Haywood and seconded by Mr. Anderson to approve the financial matters as listed. Dr. George?
Yes.
Mrs. Haywood?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Medford?
Yes.
And Mr. Richardson?
Yes. All right, next, we're going to move on to the consent calendar, and we have approval of personnel actions, approval of donations in the amount of $3,170, approval of proposed changes to the program of studies, which we went over in our work session, and approval to the minutes of a regular meeting on October 22nd, 2018. Is there anything that needs to be pulled from the consent calendar? Okay, hearing that, is there a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar?
Move approval.
Second.
Ms. Ford?
Looks like it is working now.
Still not.
Yes, ma'am, you can vote. I have a motion by Mr. Medford and seconded by Mrs. Haywood to approve the consent calendar as listed.
And I'm going to say I approve. Mine is not coming up.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and... Okay, the motion to approve the consent calendar as listed was unanimous, 5-0.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. So next, we have action items, approval of Principals Appreciation Week, January 21st through 25th, 2019. Dr. Shandor, would you like to share some comments?
I would. Thank you, Mr. Richardson. I'd like to share an excerpt from the proclamation and say how very appreciative I am for our team of principals and the remarkable job they do each day for our students. Educating the children of York County by increasing their knowledge and understanding and developing positive character traits is of paramount importance in the great Commonwealth, and Virginians are committed to ensuring that no child is left behind. In the combined efforts and responsible guidance of our school principals, teachers, and parents are preparing children to be self-reliant and productive citizens. By their diligent work, enthusiasm, perseverance, and sense of duty, York County's principals provide educational leadership that helps maintain the standards of excellence expected in the education of our students. We have 19 dedicated leaders in YCSD that serve as principals, and I appreciate all their efforts every day.
Thank you, Dr. Shandor, and they do a wonderful job. Absolutely, they do. So is there a motion and a second to approve Principals Appreciation Week for January 21st through 25th of 2019?
I move motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Ford?
Okay. A motion is made by Dr. George and seconded by Mr. Anderson to approve Principal Appreciation Week, January 21st through 25th. You may cast your vote.
I approve.
Okay. The vote for motion for Principals Appreciation Week passed unanimously, 5-0.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. Next, we have a resolution 18-55 approving the transfer of 3 positions from the fiscal year 2019 budget to the Health Insurance and Workmen's Compensation Funds budget. So Dr. Shandor, would you like to share information on that?
Mr. Bowen, would you like to come to the podium and just share brief comments related to that item? We did share some background information, I believe, at the work session, but.
Thank you, Dr. Shandor, Mr. Richardson, members of the board. This was something that came to our attention in discussions with the county in the budget process. We understand that the county took this measure in their own budget. for this year, and certainly we thought it was an appropriate use of those dollars from the health insurance fund and our workers' compensation fund for the folks that are responsible for those job duties to be paid out of those funds. As I mentioned earlier in the December work session, we have a $300,000 gap that we have to close. We're losing $300,000 from the Revenue Stabilization Fund that supports our budget for this year. And by moving these 3 positions over, 2 to the Health Insurance Fund and 1 to the Workers' Compensation Fund, it saves us $150,000. So we're halfway there to that $300,000 mark. So just to provide you that background.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. So next, is there a motion and a second to approve the resolution 18-55 approving the transfer of the 3 positions for the fiscal year 19?
Move approval.
Second.
Ms. Ford?
Okay. The motion was made by Mr. Medford and seconded by Dr. George to approve Resolution 1855, approving the transfer of 3 positions from the fiscal year 2019 budget to the Health Insurance and Workers' Compensation Fund. Mrs. Haywood? Okay, the motion passed 5-0 and was unanimous.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. Next is the approval of a motion to request the Board of Supervisors to appropriate to the school division the FY18 operating budget end-of-year fiscal year reversion carryover funds, exclusive of impact aid recipient receipts, over the revenue budget line item for impact aid in the following manner. It'll be $218,886 for cash for capital improvement projects. It'll be $200,000 for technology and $200,000 for textbook replacement. So Dr. Shandor, if you'd like to share and just.
We don't have any other additional comments. This is our typical practice for.
Right, for end-of-year funds, correct. Okay. So there's no questions. Is there a motion and a second to approve this resolution?
Second.
Ms. Ford?
A motion was made by Mrs. Haywood and seconded by Mr. Anderson to approve the motion to request the Board of Supervisors to appropriate this to the school division. Mrs. Haywood? I approve. Dr. George?
It's not showing.
Okay. The motion did pass 5-0, and it was unanimous.
Thank you again, Ms. Ford. So now we have our policy discussions, and we have none for policy discussion, but policy first reading. We have our quadrennial review of Section D, Fiscal Management section for the York County School Board Policy Manual. And Dr. Shandor, do you have any comments on that?
Yes, I'm going to bring Mr. Bowen up just for a brief comment.
Mr. Bowen, you're a popular guy tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Shandor, Mr. Richardson, members of the board. This is first reading of the quadrennial review of Section D, Fiscal Management of the School Board Policy Manual. Many of the proposed revisions are a result of alignment with the Virginia School Boards Association Policy Manual and do not substantially change practice. Other changes are a result of the alignment with the Code of Virginia, the Virginia Administrative Code, regulations of the State Board of Education, and purchasing regulations of York County.
Any questions, or Mr. Bowen? Thank you, Mr. Bowen.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. So now we've had the first reading of that, and we're going to go into policy second reading, which we have none, and now we have the report of the superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. So just a couple comments this evening. As we continue to work through the budget planning, our board met jointly with the Board of Supervisors on December 4th. Several of our board members commented on that, and I want to certainly share how appreciative I am of our cabinet staff and other staff members who contributed to having a successful meeting. There's a lot of information that we discussed that evening, and I certainly want to acknowledge the work of the county staff as well. Mr. Morgan and his team and our cabinet team worked very closely to prepare for that meeting. We provide a lot of updates related to school safety, our strategic plan, the overall performance of the school division, as well as some of the challenges that we face. We also shared some very preliminary information related to the FY20 budget. I think it was a really informative evening for both of the boards. Next, just did want to share a couple items from the last few weeks. I've had the opportunity to present several ASBO Awards to some of our outstanding division employees. I got to attend the principal student advisory meetings at several schools. It's something that we've put in place this year to really encourage student voice. That student voice matters in our schools, so all of our principals have a student advisory where they can gain feedback from students directly. So really proud of the work that they're doing in that area. Also got to visit several classrooms and professional learning community meetings in the division. And there's nothing better than recognizing division employees for their role in providing outstanding education for our students. Lastly, just want to wish our students, staff, and teachers and parents a wonderful time as you celebrate over the break to reconnect with your families and friends. So please enjoy a safe and enjoyable holiday season. We'll see everyone next year.
Great, thank you. So I did have the opportunity to attend the ASBO Award presentation for 2 of our employees, and what a great way to acknowledge their hard work and everything. It's a great thing to do, so I really enjoyed seeing that. And we'll be back for our annual meeting on Monday, January the 14th, 2019 at 6 p.m. So enjoy your Christmas and New Year holiday. Stay safe and have a wonderful break. And we are not in need of a closed session, so this meeting is adjourned.